Well, certainly that's what it's all about. The fans, you get to deliver what the fans want. They want scores, and high, powerful offenses always attract a lot of attention. But I like to take a lot of pride in having a high tempo, impactful defense, and be able to do that. You got to take the ball away and create those opportunities for your offense through your defense and special teams. So, we try to put it all together. But I understand one of the things that we like to do is run the ball and get teams to really commit that extra hat down in the box and then try to go deep. Well, I think every year you look at the best teams, and you're always going to look at their defense. Look at Bowling Green. I mean, not only did they have a good offense, but certainly you can look at how well their defense performed, and they were statistically the best defense. We certainly take a lot of pride at the University of Buffalo having one of the top defenses. And you do that by keeping people out of the end zone. Eliminate scoring opportunities, and you do that by taking the ball away, being an aggressive pursuing defense and being one of the hardest hitting teams out there. And I think that's one of the things that our kids take a lot of pride in when they talk about UB defense. Well, you saw Brandon Oliver for us, break James Stark's career rushing record, and Brandon did a great job. And so those are big shoes to fill. When you look at our group of kids coming back with Anthony Taylor, Devin Campbell, and Jordan Johnson, there's some question marks at running back as to who's going to be that guy who's going to really carry the rock, play in and play out, the way Brandon did. I think it's going to be more by committee. And Joe will be able to distribute the ball, evenly across the board. But and I'm excited about the way those kids will step up. But they're going to be running behind one of the best offensive lines, in my opinion. And it'll be exciting to see the way this group of big fellas up front really gel together. All 5 starters are returning this year, which is the first time in the history of my career where I've had 5 starters as juniors, with a couple sophomores in there, all returning. Typically you always have a senior graduating, and I think it's exciting to see this group come together, which will really impact the outcome of all games. And then we got 2 outstanding tight ends, and Matt Weiser and Mason Schreck that'll do a great job. And then we just got to keep working on our receiving core to really understand, the importance of balance between throwing the ball, catching the ball, but also in blocking. Defenses bring those safeties down, and you've got to have receivers that'll go dig it out. And Fred Lee did it as good as anybody for us a year ago, which really helped us in regards to putting Brandon in some tremendous scoring opportunities, and he certainly took full advantage of that. Well, there's nothing more exciting to me because that's where I played, and certainly I've been coaching the offensive line in my entire career. And it's 50% of the game nobody sees. But let's face it, it impacts everything that happens on both sides of the ball. And that's what it's all about. I've built all of our successful programs through the leadership of the big fellas on the offensive defensive line. I call them the power position. And we spent a great deal of time getting the right kind of guys recruited into our program that have a passion for playing down in the trenches. And it's a place where most of the moms and the dads will watch that are watching their sons, and everyone else will be keeping an eye on the ball. But the reason why those kids get rewarded in my program is because we are able to move the ball efficiently and effectively, and they get rewarded for that, and they get acknowledged for that within my program. Maybe not on the national stage when you're talking about statistics and rushes and catches and throws and things of that nature, but for me, I've always felt strongly that if you've got a good group of offensive defensive line, you got a chance of winning a lot of football games. Well, that national exposure certainly is a welcomed opportunity for our student athletes and myself and our program. And the MAC's done a great job. Dr. John Steinbrecker's done a tremendous job in, building this brand. Maction is a big part of who we are, and that's what it's all about. That brand is now nationally known. When you think about 2 years ago, the first pick of the NFL draft, and Eric Fisher from Central, and then this year, Khalil Mack, the 5th pick overall, just says that we're doing things the right way. And his leadership and his leadership team have done an outstanding job, and people have an appetite for Maction, in November, and for us in the University at Buffalo to be on every single weekday in the month of November allows us to showcase our program to all of our alums out there. We have over 220,000 alums worldwide, and they have a chance to tune in and see what's going on in UB Stadium. What an exciting opportunity for us and our coaching staff and our players. Yeah, it was back when in the youth league. I played for the Blue Devils. Coach Patton was my head football coach. Played in the big boy league. I had to jump on the scale, and if you weighed a certain weight, you went to the big boy league. And I was only in 6th grade when I first started. And it was just that beginning time. He made it fun. It was important. To just have fun, learn the game, learn the fundamentals. And that's really what I got my first taste of it. And, I just had such an appetite for the physical contact of the game. And, I can continue doing it. And I did it for 12 years. And then it allowed me to get into wrestling. So I was a combination football wrestler, which allowed me to stay away from things that I shouldn't have been, put myself into, and it kept me focused on my schoolwork, and it allowed me to train physically and build myself mentally. And then really the high school career I had, I had a great coach, Dick Carson's at Downers Grove North, and then I went to college with Tom Beck, who was my college coach. Got a chance to coach with him back at Grand Valley, and then I got tied into Brian Kelly, and really it's been an incredible journey, and it's been a beautiful process for me and my family, and to impact so many young men and their families. Obviously I want that same opportunities for them, to get a degree, compete in the great game of football, and to be able to go out there and share that experience with other people and impact them in a positive manner. That's what the great thing about college athletics is all about, and football in particular for me. There's not a better passion.